Cancel Canada Day? Sounds extreme, right? But what is Canada Day in Saskatoon? No parade, few Canadian flags or red shirts, no speeches, no pancake breakfast with maple syrup, or activities in the morning. Beginning at 12 p.m., rampant consumerism with little connection to Canada, and a variety of different cultural dances and fireworks at night. The park was crowded, so people clearly enjoy festivities, but how does this reconcile with Canada's Indigenous past, or present Canada to all our new immigrants? Ironically, I found the best of Canada at the Cancel Canada Day gathering. There were passionate speeches, prayers with candlelight vigil, and a parade. Let me show you.
I'm very grateful to be an Anishinaabe Nehiok man, and I didn't always think like that. You know, a lot of us grow up not knowing who we are. We're forced to separate from our ways, our families, and our culture, and our people. Through colonialism, residential schools. I know a lot of us have residential school families. Imagine all the trauma that we carry as whole entire residential school families. As I started to find the light, when I started to actually listen to the elders. And the Sundance chief said something to us. He said, I don't have any elders left that can pray for me. I am that elder now. Be proud of your family, of your res, of your last name. Be proud of your skin, and your reflection, your voice, and your prayers. But there's protocols to that too, and those are things that I'm learning about.
Just to introduce myself, Apeti Washde, Tue Iohana, Chia Pi Tatonka Skawi, Amakia Peye, Wapaha Ska Oyate Sanwahi. Good day, my name is Tatonka Skawi, which is White Buffalo Woman. I'm from Wapaha Ska Oyate, Whitecap Dakota Nation. It's also known as the Unity Flag and the Warrior Flag. It comes from the Mohawk people. Woo! Have you heard of the Oka standoff and the Oka Crisis that happened in 1990?
Did you go to a Canadian school? Were you taught about Oka? No? Probably not. In short, in 1990, the town of Oka, Quebec, had a golf course and condos built on Indigenous land without permission, including on a graveyard. The town council turned away critics, who set up a blockade, who were fired upon by police after a court injunction ordered the blockade removed. A police constable was killed in the firefight. Montreal's Mercier Bridge was captured by Indigenous protesters, and nearly 5,000 Canadian armed forces, with armored units, tanks, artillery, helicopters, and the Navy, descended onto the two communities of Kanesatake and Kanawake. Nationwide occupations shut down government offices, bridges, electrical infrastructure, and railways, and Quebec settlers rioted, demanding the Canadian armed forces wipe the protesters out. After 77 days, protesters burned their weapons to end the blockade. As they left, armed forces beat them. Later, the courts acquitted them on grounds of self-defense. The golf course and the condos were not completed. Neither was our Canadian education.
It represents that we're still here and that we're not going anywhere and we're not going to give up what is rightfully ours. You know, we talk about treaties, we talk about inherent rights, but yet we continue to see our land being eroded. We have a responsibility, not a right. We have a responsibility, and that's what our ancestors knew. This flag and what it represents, the Mohawk warrior in the middle, it means courage, bravery, and strength. We need to have courage, we need to have bravery, we need to be strong. The yellow around the warrior is a sunburst for truth. We need to speak truth and not just talk about it. We need to actually walk our talk. This is about truth. This day is about truth. Reconciliation is about truth. Our truth is about being true to who we are. Owning our truth, owning our life and everything, being responsible for our own actions, and therefore, you know, respecting ourselves and respecting other people around us. And the red represents the blood that's been shed on this land so that Canada could become Canada. Because a genocide has taken place, and yet we're still here. We have so many barriers in our way and we want to give up. We can't give up because look at how many little ones. Why do you wear orange? Because there's so many little ones that didn't make it home from residential schools. That's why I'm able to overcome all the things that I've overcome is because I went back to ceremony. I went back to dancing powwow.
The rippling effects of residential schools and colonial policy is why we continue to have missing and murdered Indigenous people in our country. And it's ongoing. We see it happening. We need to do more to create safe spaces for these little ones.
Access to ceremony isn't there. Access to drugs is right there. Anywhere you go, you can get it, you can find it. It's cheap, it's everywhere. But that's why we have to be self-disciplined, and we need to be strong, and we need to know who we are. Drugs and alcohol, that's just weighing us down and bringing us down. Dismantling our families. That's what they wanted, was to dismantle and break our families. They put us on these reserves, divide and conquer. They didn't want us to come together. They didn't want us to pray. They didn't want us.
We don't need to cancel Canada Day if we come to terms with the past to give the day meaning for the future.